Yo, what's up guys? New Siege video. Last Siege video of last season. We had a 1v1 Siege against Zax Cro Club. The guys that we had also the last Siege of like the regular season against, together with Athma. There was that one at the moment. And let's see how that goes. So, in this case, you once again seen that I would say Poseidon on this pair is nearly a must. At least it makes things a lot safer. So in case you don't land a pushback, in case you don't land an armor break, you still have pretty good odds of getting stuns or anything glitchy like that. And therefore it just becomes a lot easier rather than you losing right away because you miss one or two things. Backups are always good. Backups are definitely good. And this is, I think, my most consistent team so far. I've really been liking this team. I haven't seen it lose a single time yet. Have I? No, don't think so. Don't think so. But yeah, like, what are the odds for this team to lose? Like, you need... In most cases, I will make it a 2v3, like, right off the get-go. And they're really good bruisers, like, throughout with pretty good runes. So there's... Odds of this losing is very slim. So yeah, I recommend trying to get these kind of teams where you just, if you make it a 2v3 right off the get-go, and you still have bruiser potential in the team, you have a very solid offense. And sure, that one was based on an LD5 and Dominic, which is pretty OP, but I don't even think you need the Dom. I think Molong or something snipe kind of things like that is probably what you do need, but yeah. So same in this comp actually, I do the same thing. If you're using Shine or Martina on offense, the main thing you want to focus on is sniping one unit straight off the get-go, and then cleaning up is pretty easy. I think that's in general with Siege. If you outspeed the enemy, you don't give them a chance to RNG, to bruiser, to I don't know what to fuck you up. And if you just outspeed them and you clear like 1 to 2 units, maybe even more right off the get-go, it's a lot easier than most things in other cases. So that's why you see me actually for most teams, if not all, you see me outspeed the enemy. That was an interesting S1. That S1 did so much more damage than that S2 of like team upping, but not that that really matters because explosions. And explosions are Gucci. Yeah, this is also still one of my most favorite teams. However, I've seen this, if you go pretty bad on RNG, I've seen this team lose. It's kind of unlikely, but I've seen it lose. Also, if they start like proccing out, cleansing, resisting, it can be somewhat annoying. So fighting the same team once more. And this was kind of at the halfway point where, well, these are still units that I regularly use on Siege. But what I often have, especially if it's not Siege tournament, is that I start using units on Siege that are just ruined from defense. So rather than actually having proper offense units, I just use whatever the freak I can find. Is that a good option? No. Should you do that? No. Actually build like proper offenses, but since I have that many defenses ruined and not all of my offense is ruined at all time, because not gonna lie, half of my account is not ruined for most time. So with that said, it is often just, yeah, just simple things, just anything I can find that is ruined. Currently I had like a cigar team ruined. We're gonna use cigar. Still not really sure how I feel about cigar though. I've seen it being used in RTA a bunch, I've seen it being used in Siege a bunch, but I'm still not sure. And in this case, this team, I did know that I was full non-will, so, well, he also outsped me, so that also doesn't really matter there in that case. But using more Amber, and you probably have seen my Amber video in, from the last rush. This was actually made before that, but this is also one of those showcases of Amber where I'm like, yo, this unit hella strong. It does a good amount of damage. So yeah, I think mainly in Siege offense, it's good the moment you do know that something is non-wheeled, I would say. Because then you can use Protection, Eureka, and a unit like this next to it, and then it becomes fairly easy. Without that, I'm not too sure if Amber is that usable. You could of course go for Tiana, Rika, and Amber next to each other or something, but I'm not sure if you have enough firepower with that. So yeah, talking about teams, I'm just using whatever is runed up. This is very much one of those. This is very, very much one of those. So yeah, is this a good team? By all means, not at all. But can it work? It can work through room quality, I guess. But would not recommend to use similar teams like this. No, definitely not. I had Sienna on defense for a while now, and she was winning from time to time. It's just a Vio build, but is it actually a good unit now? I think it's one of those units that's one buff away from being good and usable. The issue with her mainly is, I would say the S2 is pretty good, but in the end, like, it's the same S2 as Marsha. But the S3 is nice, but the main issue for me with the S3 is that a Poseidon S3 is just so much better. Poseidon S3 does more damage because it's based off speed scaling. It ignores glancing, it slows, so there's just so much more to it. And this one, damage is kind of lackluster still, so I feel like she's one buff away from being a good unit. Of course, the S2 is decent to good damage, but it's also not like, oh my god, that's the craziest shit ever, because Marsha does a lot more because of higher base speed, stacking on the passive for more speed and those kind of things. So she has a nice S2, but it doesn't really fit her kit. Or, well, it does fit her kit, but the S3 is just kind of odd. Like, as you can see, even on armor break, sure, you can't crit that thing, but you would expect more damage from it, at least. And then some more boring teams. Boring teams, we're actually going to fast forward. I have no clue why they put this on defense, though. There's literally no healing, no big threat against MST, so I have no clue why they put this on defenses. Well, maybe they expected the Abigail to provide some kind of CC and then fuck some shit up, but to be honest, odds of that happening are very limited. Because as you can see, man, I barely lost like a little bit of HP on all of those units. And then this is maybe going to lose a little bit of HP. Yeah, just that. Nothing much. Very easy. Back in the quadrant of I'm using teams that are ruined up rather than any proper offense. Welcome. Well, actually Iris and Savannah together are pretty decent. Nigong is kind of out of place, but it also kind of makes sense for just the bruiser's sake of things. Yeah, in the end. Well, also the defense. No, wait, that was actually a defense that was used by Aftermath Legends or Aftermath EU last season in the 3rd round, if I'm not mistaken. A little bit laggy. So it's not the worst of defenses, I would say, but it's just... It is a pretty weird offense, I guess, I would say. But it works, and if it works, I don't mind. When it works all the time. That makes a lot of sense. It's like saying 50% of the time it works every time. Which is true. It doesn't make too much sense, but it is true. And now we also have a Feng Yanger. So in this case, Perna might have some potential to kill me, but I have a lot of potential to kill the other 2 units, let's call it that way. I actually wanted to put a dot on it, but I forgot it was a Perna, so the dot wouldn't really have mattered in the first place. So only if there potentially is an armor break, my units might have some issues, but the thing is they're pretty high on res and they're high on defense, so Savannah not landing her armor break is pretty likely. Teal Mars can still land armor break, but then Perna still needs a bunch of hits to actually get through it. And in this case, I have 2 units on destroy, so both the Feng Yang and the Leo are able to kill the Perna as long as Riley is alive. So, and also the two of them would probably kill it because you actually do a shit ton of damage with Feng Yang on the Perna. I just noticed that here, but that's... Okay, he's getting stunned a few times. I was just spamming S1s here. But, man, look at that damage. That is actually so much damage on the Perna. So yeah, that was a pretty clean 10-10 against Zax Cro Club. So we also won them like pretty hard, I would say, in this one. But that is all okay. So on to the next season. Maybe you've seen it already. We're gonna get some new faces in the guild, and I'm pretty excited for that. Either out, guys. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.